Wengerd, owner of Home Care Assistance. I'm here with Jerry Yarov, and we are wearing masks. I want you to put the timing in perspective. It is now early 2021, and we've both been vaccinated, but just out of caution and respect, we're going to continue to wear them for a while. So Jerry, thank you so much for coming today. You and I met when we sat for the first time on the board of what was then briefly the Central Ohio Parkinsons Society, and then became the National Parkinson Foundation, and now is the Parkinson Foundation.
Right.
And we're here to talk today about Parkinson Awareness Month, which is every April. Jerry, tell us about your diagnosis. Jerry has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and tell us about how that all came about.
Well, it was about 15, 16 years ago. Mm-hmm. My daughter thought there was something wrong with me. Mm-hmm. I didn't think there was anything wrong with me. She said I'm not walking properly, I'm not swinging my arms, and I'm not talking real well. And I'm forgetting a lot of stuff. So we went to the doctors, and it took about 6 months to a year to finally diagnose that I had Parkinson's.
It's a hard disease to diagnose sometimes, isn't it?
Yes, there's no clinical, it's all clinical. There's no blood tests or anything. And a lot of people, the first neurologist that I went to did not want to, he says, I don't want to label you with Parkinson's. So he didn't.
Wow.
And
was that a disservice, do you feel?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
But the problem is, he was a neurologist. If you go to a neurologist with the specialty of movement disorders, that would have come a lot easier. A normal neurologist doesn't get involved that much in diagnosing Parkinson's. I don't believe so.
Yeah, interesting. Good.
And so I found out that you have to go to a neurologist with the specialty of movement disorders. At that time, there was one in the whole city of Columbus.
Wow.
And so now there's plenty of them, but there was one at OSU, and that was it.
Yeah. And Jerry, one thing I know about you from our relationship is to watch. You are such an advocate. You're not afraid to talk about your disease and your diagnosis, and you're such an advocate for so many things. And I want to talk about those today. And one of them is the importance of movement. And that you talked about having a physician who's a movement disorder specialist.
Right.
So tell me, I know I've heard you speak passionately about the importance of this is the way you accept the disease. So talk about movement and what that means to you.
Well, I feel that movement is the way to control the disease. If you lay on the couch and watch TV all day, Parkinson's is going to get you. You need to get out and move. I use a stationary bike, and I go 12 miles a day.
Wow.
As fast as I can do it. And I feel great.
Yeah.
And the day that I don't do it, I don't feel so good.
Yeah.
And I feel that movement and exercise is as important as medicine.
Oh, interesting. And you're not alone in thinking that, right? Even physicians are saying that now.
When I was first diagnosed with Parkinson's, I went to an exercise class run by a gentleman here in town, and he said that he feels that if you exercise properly, you don't need any medication. That's a little. I don't know if that would work, but I'd say exercise is as important as anything. And when somebody is diagnosed with Parkinson's, I love to talk with them, and because I tell them how I feel, and it generally works for them.
Well, that's another important message that I've heard you speak about is when you first get that diagnosis, that's a scary word. And talking to somebody else who's experienced the disease is really important for anybody who's got that new diagnosis. So tell me about that.
Well, when you're first diagnosed with it, you have a degenerative brain disease that is non-curable. So it's pretty scary when you think about it.
Yeah.
I like to talk to somebody because I like to inform them that it's not a death sentence. This is one disease you you can work very hard to keep it at bay. And so that's what I'd like to, but unfortunately I don't get a chance to talk to people that are diagnosed.
There's not a good system in place, is that why, or?
No, I don't think there is. I
Okay.
mean, we've talked about it at the Parkinson Foundation. They have a system. 5 years ago, I put my name into OU or Ohio Health, and I said, you know, if you need somebody to talk, just call me. No, I enjoy that. I wasn't looking for any praise or money. I just wanted to do it because I think it's important.
Yeah, what would you share if somebody did call you?
I would share that it's not a death sentence. You need to work at it and keep in shape, and you can hold it at bay. I was telling you before we started this morning that I was diagnosed 16 years ago, and I'm a little worse, but not that much different. I mean,
And I concur from how long I've known you. I can see that.
and I might be one of the lucky ones
Yeah.
that's not moving that fast, but I feel it's because I exercise a lot.
You've worked at it, that's for sure.
Yeah, you got to work at it, and as it turns out, it's good for you. Period.
Yes.
Man, I'm probably in better physical shape. I'm probably in better physical shape than I would be if I didn't have Parkinson's.
Oh,
I probably
interesting.
wouldn't be as good because I wouldn't work that hard at it.
Yeah. Well, tell me about the Parkinson Foundation now. Are you still involved?
Not really.
Okay.
I just retired from the board. I worked. I as you know, I was with them for I don't know how long. It's been 8-10 years, and I got started with Moving Day.
You were the first chair of the Columbus Moving Day
Right.
fundraiser, which was, do you remember that day?
I do.
And how we were so enthused by the turnout?
Yeah.
We did not know what to expect.
That's true. And it was very nerve-wracking. We started with a committee of probably 10, and there were 3 of us that worked on it, period, for 6 months.
Yeah,
And it was a very emotional day for me.
it was.
I cried that day because I didn't know if anybody would show up.
And we had what, 500-600 people and
Oh,
their
yeah.
spouses and
We
their
raised
families.
about $60,000,
Yeah.
and so I've been really busy on doing that. I've enjoyed it, and I'll work on it next year. But this is a volunteer.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever they want.
Yeah.
I'm not on board anymore because the one thing that I just can't. I can't give it all my all.
Yeah.
And I said, if I can't give something all, I just don't want to do it.
I get that. Yeah, that's you. That's who you are.
Yeah, if I can't do 100%, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I can't do 100%.
Yeah. So we ask every one of our guests this question. Jerry, what keeps you up at night?
Well, probably just thinking of everything that has to be done. I mean, not.
You're one of those.
Yeah, yeah. I usually get to sleep about 2 hours, and then I'm up, and then I'm up for 2-3 hours. And if I can learn to clear my brain, I'd probably be.
You could probably teach the world how
I'd
to
probably
do
be
that.
in pretty good shape. But just thinking about everything that I have to do personally, and so that's, I worry about my family's health.
Yeah.
And so that's what keeps me up at night.
Well, you're a good man worrying about your family's health. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they're number one.
Yeah. And what excites you, Jerry?
What excites me? I think just feeling good and having a good day, and having things to do, to look forward to. With the pandemic in the last year, my wife Debbie and I have been in our house for 12 months.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't gone out. I mean, now that we're vaccinated, Debbie went to a grocery store early this week, first time in 12 months.
Oh my goodness.
First time she was in a store.
Yeah.
And
That tests a marriage, doesn't it? 12 months.
Yeah, it really does. And it was,
She's a good woman. I've met her a lot over the years too, and she's been to every event, very supportive of you and,
yeah,
and other people with the disease.
she's very supportive of me, and I mean, she won't let me go anywhere by myself.
Yeah. So as we look at Parkinson Awareness Month, what's like the main message that you think should be, if we had a billboard, celebrate Parkinson awareness, and what message would you want to be said with that?
Well, it depends who I'm saying it to, but
Okay.
to the people with Parkinson's, I would say, as I've been saying, is get out and exercise and work at it.
Mm.
It's not going to go away on its own.
Yeah.
And it's not going to get worse.
Yeah.
And to everybody else, support your Parkinson's Foundation,
Yeah.
whoever that might be, because like any other disease, we need a cure.
Yeah.
So that would be a pretty big billboard, but
Yeah. That's a lot of reading.
yeah.
But you're right, the Parkinson Foundation, not only do they work on research and finding a cure, but they also work on activities and events to help the
Right.
people who are dealing with it today.
And they have books. It's always important to have knowledge on what you have and what you can do and not do. And everything you get from them is free, and they have these symposiums or Zoom meetings all the time, and you keep yourself busy just doing that.
I bet.
So that's what I'd recommend.
Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining us at Live at Lunch.